You know what? Smartphones are great out of the box. But if you're a tweaker or a tinkerer, you might find the customizability of your iPhone or Android phone a little underwhelming. After all, being able to change your background and ringtone and whether or not Siri has a British accent only goes so far when it comes to tapping into your phone's hardware potential. So because of that, many people have turned to processes that remove some limitations. That's jailbreaking for the iSheep and rooting for the Fandroids. And although jailbreaking and rooting are technically quite different, they accomplish similar goals. Namely, they give you privileged access to the device's operating system, allowing you to do things you wouldn't normally be able to. Kind of like when Neo was able to see through the Matrix, except you won't be able to stop bullets. Seriously, please don't try. Let's start with Apple. iOS by default blocks any apps that haven't been approved by Apple and placed into the App Store. And it also forces you to use Apple's default user interface. On top of that, the iPhone hides its file system from users. So not only is it tough to see all your files conveniently that are actually on your device, it also prevents you from using the free space as a handy dandy USB flash drive if that's what you're into. If you have a jailbroken iPhone though, these limitations are removed and you can intensely customize the look and feel of your user interface, install and use any program written for iOS, no Apple approval needed, and directly access the file system, allowing you to use your phone as a flash drive or external hard drive. And a large community has popped up around the practice of jailbreaking, and you can find plenty of jailbreak exclusive tweaks and apps for your iPhone, including everything from Windows Phone lookalike themes to classic game emulators. But what about Android? They already have gaming emulators. As I mentioned before, the Android equivalent to jailbreaking is rooting, which also allows for a large number of visual and usability tweaks, as well as advanced features like app automation, the ability to turn your phone into a free Wi-Fi hotspot, sometimes even if your carrier doesn't allow it, and even overclocking. But frankly, many users do it on the Android side for far less exotic reasons: to get rid of the annoying, hard to remove bloatware that comes pre-installed on many Android devices, and even change operating systems entirely. So what if you're ready to take the plunge then and give it a shot? Well, jailbreaking or rooting your phone often isn't horribly difficult. A quick Google search will yield a number of downloadable tools that you can use to enable elevated access rights on your device, but keep in mind that since these tools are technically software exploits that take advantage of security flaws in the operating system's code, jailbreaking and rooting might not be available if you have a newer or a more obscure device or a very recent version of iOS or Android, as some phone manufacturers work actively to prevent these practices when they release software patches. Well, hold on, wait a second, Linus. Did you just say they're exploits? All this sounds kind of shady. Aren't there risks involved? Well, yes. Like many things you can do to tweak your gadgets, jailbreaking and rooting do come with a few caveats. Modifying your phone in this way can often void your warranty, and if you do it improperly, it could even brick your device. A lot of people also wonder whether jailbreaking or rooting is even legal. I mean, come on, jailbreaking even has the word jail right in it. And although I'm not a lawyer, and the true answer depends on where you live and the time that you live in, I can tell you that the short answer for those of you in Canada and the US living in the now is yes, it's legal, as long as you're not doing it to infringe on a copyright. But remember, guys, that laws change frequently, so you might want to do some digging around before you decide to trick out your phone with that super cool Linus theme that I'm sure one of you has spent days working on, right? No? All right then. That's fine anyway. I'll use this awkward silence to tell you guys about FreshBooks. FreshBooks is a cloud-based accounting tool that's designed for freelance workers or small businesses. It makes invoicing, getting paid, and tracking expenses easier with a phone-based thing, so you can just be like, bippity-boop, here were the hours I worked, bippity-boop, send an invoice, and boom. They can pay you by credit card online, so the whole process is much simpler because, as you all know, if you're a small business owner, half of the battle is getting the work done. The other half is actually getting it billed and paid. So you can do all kinds of little self-management stuff that is easy now, as opposed to involving tedious paperwork and sitting down at a computer. So you can spend your time doing the work you need to do, as opposed to just, filling out forms and invoices and sending up bills and follow-ups and all that kind of nonsense. So head over to freshbooks.com/techquickie and don't forget to enter tech quickie in the How Did You Hear About Us section. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you thought it sucked. Leave a comment below if you have suggestions for future videos just like this one, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and follow if you enjoy our content and you want to see more of it.